Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to those that have joined us. I have with me our Senior Technical Analyst, Mayo Racek, who's been doing some work both in the, as always, Google Tag Manager and Google Analytics and all of those tools. But we thought for this little kickoff, we do something a little bit different and see what else we can do. So we have a client that's extensively utilizing Amazon as well as their own Shopify store. They've got thousands of reviews there in Amazon, and we were trying to figure out what are they. And so I'll let kind of Mayo take it from there of how we answered that question. So take it off.
Okay, so nice to meet you. My name is Mayo, and I will try to walk through the scraping the reviews from Amazon, but technically you can scrape the reviews from any other platform or website. Basically, it can be also your own website, for example, for the eShop, where you are basically allowing people to write the reviews for your products, and any other aggregator like Yotpo, for example, where people can review your product and services. The reason I will share the screen. All right. So I would like to also please you later on that if you have any questions regarding less of the code, because I will bit explain what is there, but if you have any ideas about how to leverage reviews for your organization, for your eShop, for your newspapers or anything else, please feel free to anytime jump and we can go through it. Likewise, you will receive the code. What is here is basically 300 lines, but only specific things needs to be changed. Just it can work for any other of your platform. So just quickly, do you have right now someone any question before we start?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's jump a bit to the Amazon. Can you see the screen of Amazon?
I don't think you're on your Amazon screen. I think you're still on.
Just a second. I will need to put the complete screen like this.
Done.
Okay, so basically, specifically for the Amazon, you can use always this same URL. Only one thing that will be changing is this sequence of characters, which is basically assign a specific symbol for each product on the Amazon. So if you have like store on the Amazon with 10 products, each of the products will have individual ASIN, but there's not a problem with the code we have. We can very quickly scrape all of them and append them together. So that's not a problem at all. So let's go back to R. So quickly, why we think that it's important to analyze reviews from the Amazon or any other platform is that basically that's the very valuable asset for the company or organization to know the feedback, the feeling, and the experience of users with the product or service. For example, for a particular client of us, just for one product, the client has 5,000 reviews, which is awesome, awesome information in those comments, and definitely client can get better insights about what they can improve, but also how they can improve their marketing copies, etc. So let's jump to the code. If anything is unclear, really feel free to jump anytime. So in this first passage level, we are basically loading all the packages that we will use for the R. I must say at the beginning that in order to use this analysis, you need to have installed R and RStudio. But if someone is more skilled in Python, of course, there is a way to do this also on the Python. But we are focusing on the R, especially due to the statistical power. Okay, so let's jump to the first part of the code where we are going basically to scrape the title of the review, which is this, then the text of the review. Just a second. And what is the ratings, which are basically the stars here. All of the informations are very, very valuable for us. Also, I was thinking about to also scrape the year, because maybe it is also interesting to check how the sentiment is changing over time. So which can be also important findings. But let's say to specify what are we doing here. So we basically created here the function to scrape the title, text, and ratings. The things we are using is that what I've shown you, the URL, this one, this is static stuff. So this does not change. This is the same for every product. So you will use this. Async is this number that you will use, and page number is a pagination here. So this is the way where we are putting all these things together. And here in the function read HTML, we are reading whole HTML of the website, from where we can basically extract particular selectors, classes, what we will basically use. Here we are using classes, but you can also use CSS selectors the specific way. I am using here the selector gadget Chrome extension, and you can basically just a second. We are basically sharing the screen, so it's not really working right now. But you can use the selector gadget, and basically you can pick up every those selectors you want to use, basically text, for example, or title, and you will paste there. You will paste this CSS selector into these quotes. And this way you will be able to scrape the information you want. So basically it works like, I will show you quickly just an example how it looks. So I am here specifying right now just 5 pages. Just we are not going over a whole list of reviews for the particular product. You hit enter, and the script is working. The thing why we are taking this break is that we try to avoid to be detected as bots. So we are taking like three seconds pause, and then the script is starting again. Okay, this basically saved here as a list. You can see it here. Is a list of 5. So this is not really understandable. So that's why we are then putting it as a data frame. These are just explanation quickly that you know how this, what the particular code is doing. Basically, the data frame, the table looks like this. It's this is the title, this is the text, and this is the ratings. Of course, in order to we could do the calculations and computations like averages and rolling sums, anything else, we need this as a number. So we need to get rid of, we want to keep just this first number because that's what we want. And for that, we have this part of code, which is doing us this beauty, where we have basically right now what we wanted, the title, the text, and the particular rating of the user. However, the fact is that in order to we can use any sentimental analysis or text analysis, we need to break the words into individual parts, I would say that way. And because we are going to assign to each word in the particular review sentiment. That's the value of how positive or how negative the word is. There are many pre-built lexicons for this, but before that, we still need to remove so-called stop words, which are things like is, to. So we are removing the words that have no meaning for us, because we want to use for the analysis just the words where we can use the intent. These are the words that we want to get rid of, because when we would do, for example, something like the n-gram analysis for 5 sequences, it means 1, 2, this is 5. This is 5 words based on the n-gram 5, but these 2 is and 2 are not real words. So we would like to get rid of them. So that's why we are using this line, and we are getting this table. As you can see, this is broken by the title on each row, and each word is lined on the individual row, and then we can assign. Let me show you. Then we can assign the sentiments. You can see here, these are pre-built models. One is Affin, which is on the scale from 5 to -5. 5 is the most positive, -5 is the negative. And the sentiment Bing lexicon is basically directly showing whether the sentiment is positive or negative. So for our purpose, we will use the numerical value, which is the sentimental from the Affin. And you can see here right now what each word basically shows. I can show you also a whole table, how it looks like. Just you can have an idea. So basically here we have also deconstructed reviews, and these are the words for the particular review. And you can see that, for example, doubt, that is the sentimental value -1. But you can see also broke, poor, which is -2. And of course, you can have even worse, but you can have also much more positive, like low, super. So these are the information that when you can put it together with other qualitative data, it can be very valuable stuff. Now, what we would like to do, because this is broken by individual words, so we want to now group by these words and counts. And it looks like this. We now have individual words used in any of those reviews on the Amazon. This is the mean rating. This means that it's a rating for all, it's a mean rating for all the reviews where this word strong has appeared. And this is the sentiment review, which is kind of positive. And this is the number of appearances in all those reviews we have in our data set.
It might be might just be worth highlighting that last one, broke, where you see the inverse, which is broke, and then the mean rating is 1.85, symbolizing, you know, certainly a more negative connotation.
Yeah. This is also one of the possible analyses where you can basically analyze the correlation between the ratings and the sentiment, because they don't have to always correlate to what people actually rate and what they actually feel. But this is exactly this, the sixth this line basically showcase the sentiment that the users where this word has appeared were not really satisfied with the product they have bought. So it can already tell us some information that there was something that the people really didn't like. But we can go here, and this is the basically the combination of mean rating with the sentiment. Here on the left side, you have the score of the sentiment, which is from +5 to the -5. In the middle, you can see is 0. We can put it this way. All right. And on the axis down below is ratings, average. So we can basically also see the products, the words here, like difficult, that even though the rating was about 3, but still the sentiment of that word is telling us that there could be certain issues for the client to manipulate or enjoy the product. As you can see, that, wrong, stuck, these are the information where people are really showing that they had problems with the product. But we have also positive sentiment with one thing what I would say here is that this plot can be also a bit manipulative. That's why it is here. because we can see even though the word support here is showing sentiment below 2.5 and rating is 3.5, it can still tell us that the word support was on the positive side, but we can see here when we will use only positive words. Basically, how are we getting the positive words? Is that we are taking, this is the calculation, if you can see it here in the filter. Basically, here we are taking only the words that have higher average rating from all the words, and also the sentiment. As you can see, these are the information that is telling us what people were saying when they have positive affection or experience with the product. They love it, it was perfect, they would recommend it, super nice, etc., etc. So these are probably good words to maybe add to the description on the product, or we'll get to this later. But we can also spot the negative ones that are below the average. And here is interesting thing: support, which can be quite problematic, because I believe every company wants to provide exceptional customer service, and especially if it is tied to the technological product. Just to say, we are talking about right now about a company that is selling GPS trackers and cameras and so on. So people definitely need proper customer support. And here we are spotting the initial problem that people probably were not getting the help, advice, or the support they expected. And you can also see the other words that have below average sentiment, like trust, because it's also putting words into the context where they are finding, so they can find the relationship: useless, weak, complain, upset, broken, protect, wrong, broke. So these are the information that again quickly the company can get specific information that something is going wrong with the product, and they can act upon this. Now I would like to get to here. Here we are going to use so-called model called Ngram, which is taking each sequence in the text. Here we are specifying 3. And again, we have removed all the unnecessary subwords. And basically, for example, let's say here we have this text. Can you see it highlighted, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words in this first sentence? However, these are just individual words. This is just the example. And I am here specifying Ngram 3. So what this model is doing, it is taking this word, this word, this word together. However, these are, and again, these are just. So always it's moving one by one and taking 3 words in advance, in sequence. And it looks like, there is a chat. Just a second.
Oh, that's me. I'm just providing some of the some of the resources.
Okay, perfect. So one of the not issues but understanding of this Ngram is that the way that for the reviews or otherwise, why we want to use the Ngram? I wanted to use it I wanted to spot intent at first glance. It's not always easy with this tool because the phrases and the sequences in reviews are very unique because people are writing the reviews by their language, what they feel, how they feel, and the Ngram, the way it works is that we are building sequences of words and then grouping them and analyze what is the overall, how people overall use those particular words. It is mostly used for the keyword analysis for Google Ads, for example, but here we can also spot some good information again. And even though it is so unique in the reviews, but we can definitely leverage this information for the ad copy or improving the product descriptions or improve the customer service or support. For example, super strong magnets, that's definitely very positive. The same here, excellent product health, monthly service charge. This is what people are talking about, but it can be either positive or negative. So every time we need to put things into the context. That's why we are not using this as a standalone analysis, but it is always put to context in other information. Quality strong magnets, so they can basically build, when we know from this that they have really strong magnets, that the product is high quality, so they can use this because when they know that it's important for people that the magnet is strong. I'm not really on this stuff about these products, but from what I was analyzing, it seems that the people have their specific intentions, why or what they are happy about and what they are basically lacking of. But still, this is very unique, and there is still better way. There is also another way how we can get another information from the data we already have. So there is also called package youth pipe, and this is basically machine learning pre-built unsupervised models, which are definitely a good way to start with, to play with even with the product reviews, comments on social networks, or anything like this, where you have written or the text that you can analyze, because it definitely can give you the better insight. What is good about this package is that it supports more than 50 languages. So you can even use the German, Slovak, French, any other language, and it will help you to build a pre-trained model for your data set. How it works? It works that you will choose basically firstly the model, which is the language. So here is English, but it can be German, French, as I said. Here we are in this function, we are loading that model because this is what we will be used in our annotation, which is here. I will just show you how these ad models looks. They are basically all of their lists. So this is not really sexy for anybody. So sorry. So let's do this.
I love the fact that your goal is to make the data sexy, by the way. That's so true.
This is it. Basically, this is the model pre-trained. This is the pre-trained model. Of course, I believe the most important thing is to start to play with it, because of course, when you are more confident, there are many opportunities to customize the model to your own needs and even train based on your data. But this is, for example, this is other data frame we have created, text frame, what I have actually showed you. And in this function, I am right now extracting only adjectives, because I wanted to basically know what was somehow the descriptive words about the product. So here we are picking first 20, or how many it was? Yeah, 20. And we can get initial information about how many these adjectives are basically showing up in the whole reviews. And it can give us specific idea what is going on in the reviews. So strong, great, waterproof, magnetic. So it's very it's kind of explainable, but still it's just the simple word. So youth pipe is great about rake, which is rapid automatic keyword extraction. And this is exactly the algorithm that is looking relationships between the words in the reviews. And this is where I think is the hidden gem of all of these, because it can give us combination of words, even though they didn't appear in the same sequence or in the same reviews, but the algorithm can understand what people or what the user basically meant, and is aggregating those words into the model, and it's giving us this information. You can see it here. Heavy duty, high quality, magnetic backing, customer, little pricey. We can already start to think about more what people probably have the problem or didn't have. We can still also use negative words or positive. We can even segment it more. But this is where, because what is the problem with the reviews on the Amazon or anywhere else is that there is a huge amount of data, and human or person is not able to analyze all this by themselves. So that's why we need to use computational power to do this for us and start looking for the insights and how we can basically use this data. We are right now also starting with clients to optimize even their customer support, product descriptions, or ad copies, because this is way where we think that it can be really, really helpful. So yeah, I will share the code, and we are of course here to help and discuss ideas, different ways how to do it, or anything else. Do you have any question with this? I know that it was quite fast, and it doesn't have to be always understandable, but I think so that we can find a way to help you to make it, or show you what you need for that to use this. I will share with you the code, and the comments are also there, how to or what you need to configure. So I believe the most important thing, I believe, is to start and get the hands dirty, and see how you can leverage the text you have on your website or aggregators, be it reviews or any other comments. So
that was excellent.
that's,
That was really, really, really cool. I think, one of the things to take out of that also is just the scale of it. So I think, this was literally thousands of reviews that obviously scrolling through and reading them is not productive, nor is probably putting this in a big text document, even using NLP, natural language processing to that matter.
yeah.
You really kind of have to break it down to, like you said, the n-grams to then be able to efficiently kind of get, the insight out of it. And then to even see if it's, kind of going further. One thing that is also worth noting is that, obviously there's hours involved in learning the various packages and learning the various techniques, things like that. But, this took you about, an hour, 3 hours in order to complete and process over 5,000 views, figure it out, and then come to even a visualization and a visual that the client totally understood and walked away from versus the opposite. So, why don't we open it up for, we can probably talk back and forth and back for hours. So I want to make sure we open it up to our audience here, Louis, Rosemary. First, what kind of insights, et cetera, do you think, this would help you out with? And then to any other general analytics questions or concerns. This is, yeah. Don't be shy.
Well, I just like it. It was a great, actually, thing, because I'm working at a newspaper, and we also in Austria, and we also had tried to do some analysis of the comments, because under each article you can obviously leave your comment. But in our case, it didn't work so good because of German, because German language, the support is, well, not so good, because also the structure and grammar structure is a little bit more complicated, because so we were not, so we could manage some kind of sentiment, but I think this is it's better probably to do it in English, sentiment.
The package UTPipe basically contains it's official lexicon of Germany, and be it also Austria. I'm not sure of the real differences, and definitely that's a way at least to try what value it will provide, because I tested also this on the Slovak language, which is very sophisticated compared to other, and the accuracy was like 70%, but I think so that's a good start. I think so that's a good start, at least to start to play with it and get more information what the people are basically saying us. So
and do you think you could make it like, I don't know if it's possible with R, but we have been thinking, because if you are comments, some of the comments is hate speech basically, and our idea was like hate speech is usually very negative. So we were doing it because we wanted to help our community team to filter out, so to say, hate speech and this kind of comments. So I just want to ask if you would do this in Python, or R is also possible if you want to make it in more automatical way.
I believe when we will see the sentiment for the German language, right? Mm-hmm. Then you can also see what we've been specifying here, the Bing sentiment. Bing sentiment is basically assigning the negative values, but I think so that also anything can show you if the language is very rude, and you will get like -5, and you will get the IDs of the users, for example. And specifically, if you can do also some cumulative averages or sum for how these haters are actually getting the how negative this hater actually becomes, then I think so that you can definitely get the list of IDs that should be filtered out, because here we are filtering basically the negative words, and we can do this definitely if we have this sentiment in German language, then we can definitely filter only the bad IDs or bad users, let's call them, like, or haters, based on this sentiments score. So everything it starts and ends with the because we need to join something to the original data set you have. So we need some other table or lexicon for German language that you can basically combine with the original data set.
I think one kind of extra note on that, Lucas, you kind of have almost a third category, because as a newspaper, it's not, well, I will say, it's not necessarily your job to rate between good and bad, right? Bad comments are fine. It's the hate that needs to be monitored, suppressed, etc. Right? So I'd be really interested to see, when you look at those negative phrases, negative words, how strong is that detection, right? Between just, a bad comment or somebody thinking negatively of something. Some people probably think fairly negatively of the coronavirus, but that's very different than, hate, right? So
Yes.
I'm wondering even if there is a lexicon for that, right? Not so sure I'd want to take a look at that list, but
I will. I will definitely take a look at this.
Yeah, well, I have to mention German language is a little bit more a hate speech by default. Well, so, but anyway, even my Siri was activated when I said German. Anyway, but then, but just because we had this kind of issue, like, let's say 8-9 months ago, and then our data science team, they found a solution, and we categorized like every comment in 3 possible categories. One is like okay comment, which is like everything. It can be negatively, positively connotated, whatever. It doesn't include any swear words, anything like any words like racism and this kind of stuff. And then there is a second category of the comments, and they are like where we are unsure. This needs to be checked, and they are being sent to our community team. And the third category of comments is really where we kind of recognize the user is using bad words, basically. So, and we are filtering them out automatically. The problem is the second category, where, for example, if you have a racistic comment or something like that, you cannot so easily recognize it's a racistic comment or something like that. So that's like that was a good point, Thomas. What you mentioned, that negative doesn't mean it's bad, So
I believe maybe here we are coming to the stage where maybe really NLP, maybe from Google, but this depends on the language. Yeah, that's kind of problematic. But I think so that it's definitely also challenge for us to find some or to make some research about this, and to know how to figure it out, because this could be very valuable for you, right? To figure it out, what are racist or how racist comments, because definitely that's something that could be automated then right away.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I just posted from T. Davidson the hate speech and offensive language lexicon. God, I love Google.
Cool.
Yeah, if you
Oh,
really kind of want to get in a bad mood, just go through hatebase.org. Wow. Rosemary, was there any question or concern or anything that you wanted to bring up? And listening's okay too. Cool.
thank you very much for the participation, and hope it was at least a bit valuable, or at least for the idea what we can do with the data we have on our plate, but we don't really use them.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you for your time. It was great to see your work.
Thank you very much.
We're still figuring out. I think we had a couple different options. One of them was App Plus Web review next week. And then we had another idea too that I can't remember. It was early this morning. What was that?
It was also about this data to be sent to importing data to the.
That's right. Importing. We're thinking about importing cost data for e-commerce sites so that you can get true return on ad spend. Because of course now margins are going to be of utmost concern, not just revenue, but actual profitable revenue. So yeah, we're going to start just kind of doing this each week. So please share amongst your friends. On purpose, we're opening it up so that you can also talk and even go video if you want to, unlike most webinars. So we're taking a little bit of risk, but we think it'll be fun.
Cool. Thank you. Great idea.
Very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I'll probably gonna hold on here just because I said it was till noon. People could stop in. So, well, I guess we have the register. So, thank you, everyone. Thanks, Lucas.
Bye-bye.
Rosemary.
Thank you, Thomas.